Oh my god.
So welcome back to another video. Today I found something very extraordinary. I was just wandering about, right? Just adventuring around. And I'm like in between two different types of warehouses, factory kind of settings. And in between that area, in the grass field, I found out that I'm on a dirt bike trail. As you guys can see, it's like a narrow kind of path, but then it comes up this hill, which is like a ramp kind of thing. Then you go over there and then cruise around that, which is a tiny little vert wall right over here. And it just seems to have like a lot of crazy hills. Then this one right here looks like a massive jump. Like it's an insane amount of distance how much you would have to clear this to get onto that side. That has to be probably the most random, the most awesome thing I've found adventuring around anywhere. Okay, so it's time to catch you guys up on what's been going on with me in the past week. We're gonna cue a little 2-minute montage of it. After all that happened or whatever, the next day I went adventuring again. I found a 9th stair. I went to go look at it. It has a small run-up, like smaller than the run-up for the 8th stair that I normally skate in the vlog. So I just threw an ollie out there, right? I ollied over it. So the next day I went to the 8th stair that I usually do skate. That also has a small run-up, but it's not as much as the 9th stair one. So since there was one stair higher and smaller run-up, I figured maybe I got more comfortable with the 8th stair. So I went for a few tray flips. I was kind of upset that I didn't land a tray flip or even like stuck with it. I realized that I wasn't like comfortable with setting up as fast. Like I knew that already, but I thought I was even more comfortable since I had a little more run up compared to the 9th stair. Even though it was just an ollie, like a tray flip from an ollie, I don't know. I just felt that I was ready. And it just turned out I wasn't ready at all. Which brings us back to what the title of this video is called. How to get over defeat. Defeat, failure, it doesn't matter what it is. No matter how you call it, it's pretty much the same thing. And the one things I've realized that I used to do when I was younger was that when I would fail or something didn't work out or anything like that, I just either felt that I just couldn't do it. Automatically I just felt that I couldn't do it and there was no way I would be able to do it or anything like that. Then after I give into this so-called doubt or whatever inside me, it gets to the point where I start to notice that I want it really bad. And so I'll doubt myself for a little bit in the midst of failing or being in defeat. and I'll come right back to like another day, or maybe within that same split second, or after 3 or 4 or 5 minutes of taking a break of whatever I was doing. The greatest feeling is when it happens within like the first few seconds, where you have the moment of defeat or whatever, like right there in front of you, and then all of a sudden you realize why you're doing this or why you want it so bad. And that's one of the main points, is the want factor. At this point, it becomes a level of defiance, a level of perseverance to just say, no, I'm not gonna leave it as it is and just admit that this is the best I can do, or this is all that I could ever do. So for me, it's always been about the want factor. How badly I want it, how badly I want to do this, how badly I want to see myself do this, especially if I'm filming it. Knowing that like I've accomplished it, that when I get back home, I'm gonna be looking over the footage over and over and being proud as to what I just did. But let's just say that for that day, whatever I'm trying or whatever, I listened to that holds out, which I did with the tray flip over the 8 stair. I just stopped. I was like, I'm not ready for this or whatever, but I didn't let it stop me. So then I went to the skate park and threw 50 tray flips back to back. Just trying to get used to the whole like quick setup, like just throw my board down, quickly put my feet in the position where I'll tray flip. After the 8 stair, like trying it over the 8 stair, my legs were dead. They were super tired, especially since I skated a 9 stair the day before, and then I was skating an 8 stair the next day. Like my legs were dead by the time I got to the skate park. Like they were completely exhausted, and me trying to push through like 50 tray flips, I just knew that I was just trying to build up good muscle memory. Because usually when I skate a stair set or do a tray flip or anything, like in the main intro that I show for my vlogs, there's a tray flip over the Chicago 8 stair, but that's got a long run up. It even has like a little ramp kind of thing that gives you speed, so you don't have to worry about pushing and then setting up. You just push a little bit, go down it, and then you got all the speed you need, and then it's got a bit of a run up where I could just easily set up my feet. But that's at the skate park, that's the thing. But when you go out street skating, all the skate spots, they're not gonna be perfect to be skating. Like there's not gonna be enough run up, or the ground is too bad. Like the 8 stair, I know once I finally like able to keep the board with me after I set up my feet and everything for the tray flip, my next challenge is being able to land on the brick laid out ground that's there. That's just like an example for the want factor. And now I'm moving on to the whole training thing with the 50 tray flips and everything, and preparing myself. But you have to realize one thing, is that that first defeat or that first failure better prepared you than any other training method, because you do have to go through that so that it can better drive you into thinking, I don't want to feel like that. But don't look at it as to like, I don't want to feel like that again, and I'm never going to do it again, so I don't have to feel that anymore. But you're always going to feel that. You're always going to encounter that no matter what you do. I mean, some of them are worse than others, but that's why it comes down to the want. And after the first failure, it's never going to be as worse as the first one. The first one's always the worst, but after you encounter the first one, the second one isn't that bad, the third one isn't that bad, or you might even succeed on the second one. But you do have to understand, after the first defeat, after the first failure, that you already made the effort, so you might as well continue the sacrifice that you made to go through that type of defeat. Now this brings us to our next point, is that you have to change your view of what defeat really is. It's honestly part of the training. It's not the final thing. It's not a make it or break it. You may not have everything that you thought you knew. Like it keeps you Now this brings us to our next main point, is that you got to change the way you look at defeat, the way you look at failing at something, is that it's also part of the training. It's that you get close to your goal, you're not entirely there. You have to feel that defeat sometimes. Sometimes you will make it because your training was everything that you needed to do. But no matter what, it will still show you that maybe you're not putting enough effort into your training or whatever you're practicing or whatever you're doing to help yourself get to that goal. Maybe you're not working hard enough at all. Maybe you're just putting 50% of your efforts into something, and then once it comes time to doing it, you come short because you weren't giving it all. It's also not just about like giving it your all. You always have to give more than your all. You always have to give, I don't know if you've heard the saying 110% or 200%. You have to be giving more than you could ever dreamed of or ever thought about giving out into the world, so that you can reach your goal knowing that you made it, or maybe the goal was even easier than you thought because your training or your efforts into getting to where you want to be way more than enough, and you get to that point where you just absolutely killed it, you aced it. It's a way better feeling than feeling that you know that you didn't put enough effort, you know that you didn't do everything that you needed to do to get where you wanted. And for me personally, it took me a long time to figure that out, like a very long time. Some days I would give 110%, other days I'll give 100, some days I'll just give 25%, another day I'll give 50. But then when the time came and I look around in my life, I realized that nothing is how I ever wanted it to be, which is another type of failure that I had to go through to realize that I need to start changing things, start progressing a lot more and doing better for myself. Because I have goals too, and the three main ones that I'm working on right now is obviously tray flip over that 8 stair, because honestly my entire life I never thought I would be able to do any type of flip trick. Like when I introduced that spot in the vlog, I even said in the video that there's no way to set up for a flip trick unless you're really good at getting comfortable, which is what I'm going to be working on now, and I never thought I would be able to do that. My second goal is to work on swing throughs, which was part of the other thing I was showing you in the 2-minute montage. Is I really want to learn that, like being able to do a flip, land one foot to cause another flip to happen, and I just want to chain a bunch of those. And the third one is to obviously upload a lot more often. Those are the three main ones that I'm currently focusing on right now. So those are the three main goals I have right now. So I'm gonna call it the end of this vlog. That was everything that I have to say about how to get over defeat or a loss or failure or any sort of thing like that. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to support this thing I call life, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Turn it on.